Matsoukas here with Mike Yonts, director of photography and co-producer of No Place. How's it going, Mike?
I'm good. How are you doing in all the crazy stuff right now?
You know, just trying to keep going, trying to balance everything out, keep
Yeah.
moving. How about you? How are you doing?
Same thing. Trying to make the best use of the time I can while not pressuring myself to be a super high achiever. So yeah, it's working out all right.
Good, good. Well, thank you for joining me today. So I guess let's talk about how we met. I think we met at a Christmas party. Is that right?
Yeah, the annual production people Christmas party at Mo and Johnny's.
Right.
Yeah, we just started talking about writing films and this and that. You told me you'd made a little short film with Greg Malone, and so I think probably that first meeting I said something along the lines of, well, I've been working on this screenplay. Maybe you would be willing to help me. And I was thrilled that there was a person willing to actually read the thing, much less do some writing on it.
Well, it's really something because you meet so many people casually at a party, and it's happened to me a billion times where I've given somebody a card, maybe I've emailed someone and nothing comes of it, but we've just from that chance meeting and a follow-up and maybe a lunch and a cup of coffee, it's really, we grew into a real collaboration on this thing.
Yeah, yeah. And then I was thrilled when, after working on my screenplay for a while, you said, I've got a screenplay and I want, you to consider shooting it. And I went, yes, yeah, absolutely. I've shot a ton of commercials and corporate videos and that kind of thing, but and worked on a feature way back in the past, but never had a chance to be the DP on one. So that was exciting to me.
Yeah, that was amazing for me too, because I think that to have a pro like you and to someone who had access to equipment and to crew people and sort of knew the landscape, it really made it possible for me to think about really making this project, and we did it.
We did. I mean, I've been looking at it, as you know, and man, I think it looks great.
Good. Well, it does look great. Do you have a favorite day on set without giving much away about the film?
Sure. That's a good question. Favorite, and of course, to me, it would always, the question to throw right back is favorite day as far as the experience of the day, or favorite day as far as what we got, because those are not always the same.
That's true. I would say whichever you prefer. I think about your favorite day and being there.
Yeah, let's see.
I'm thinking myself.
Certainly at Mo and Johnny's, just that we were able to get great stuff, and with which I'm sure we'll talk about more, kind of playing with what was there, and just supplementing where we could. But I think we got really nice looking shots there while just really taking over that tiny corner of this business while it just kept on operating, so it doesn't get much more indie film than that.
That's true.
And I would say here in my studio, the poker scene that's almost in the very beginning of the movie, I got a kick out of the way that looked, and I thought we got some great drama there, and it was, as you know, I like that so much I shot it again later.
Yeah. And you know a little bit about playing poker, so you were able to put your personal feelings of victory and anguish in the shot composition and lighting.
Yeah, a little bit. I tell you, I was paying too much attention to the cinematography, maybe because we totally let Ben make a string bet, which you're not really allowed to make, but I guess artistic license.
Artistic license, absolutely. I those days were great, and that poker day was really our first day, so that was kind of we were really thrust into it. I think about all the car mounts. I had never done anything like that, and that day was stressful, but we got some incredible footage, and I loved using the rig from Thelma and Louise. if I recall.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Superstitiously, I felt like maybe that gave us a little bit of mojo there. And yeah, I mean, Derek Hammer and the people at Hammer Lighting and Grip were so generous with letting us, set up in the shop and kind of work out of their building really for that whole day.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think with a car mount like that, um, you get a look at your talent that's a little different than if you just had camera on the shoulder inside the car with them. We got some of that too, but it just starts to look a little more like a big movie when you're able to get back from them and get on a little more flattering lens and get just the shot you need without the constraint of having to be 6 inches from them with a really wide lens, and seeing the whole thing like that, looking like taxi cab confessions or something.
Right.
So i
Right.
was i was thrilled with that we're able to do that.
Yeah, me too. And just from like a producing standpoint, the thought of, all of your extremely precious equipment on my car, just the ingenuity it takes to rig that up perfectly. So you're whizzing through the streets, all that stuff is recording. Nothing's going to fall off the car, break, get traffic, hurt somebody else. Like it was stressful in a sense, but once we started rolling, it felt great.
Well, yeah, you're covering a ton of screen time.
Yes.
You can use those shots a lot, but yeah, you got to have a good guy rigging that stuff up. And we had Carter Campbell, who was the best at that kind of rigging,
Yeah.
and Jeff Lent too. And so it always is a little bit of a tension producer that there's my real expensive thing sitting out there on the hood of the car or sticking out the side window of the car while it's driving around.
Yeah.
We didn't have it on a trailer or any of that. We had the actual talent driving it.
Right.
But we did great with that. Yeah, we got great stuff, and that was a fun day.
Yeah,
But I was excited about the idea of letting things, if there's available LED or fluorescent, then things are trying to go green. If it helps serve the story, we let it be green. If it if it's dark and shadowy, maybe we kiss in a little bit of light there so you can see their eyes, or sometimes we take some away. And yeah, you're relying on your locations for a lot of reasons, and we did do really a pretty good job location scouting on this, I thought. So walked into the Burnside Inn there, and I'm sure I said to you, this place just looks cinematic just by itself, especially that first floor. So yeah, knowing that we didn't have time or people or the gear to make these great big lighting setups, it was really important to have good locations.
Definitely. And I think that the locations informed how we treated each scene. But what I liked about it was the fact that a lot of our decisions were really instinctive. I mean, we
Yeah.
like what feels right, what makes thematic sense, I don't think we were necessarily, I mean, certainly we had a plan, but we weren't tied to anything, to any playbook per se. We really were rolling with it. And, I think it worked for us, but I think it's also kind of the nature of making these indie films.
Yeah, yeah. The on the topic of my favorite days, I guess the other nominee for me in some ways would be I think this was the same day, the bedroom scene and then the gun dealer scene.
Yeah.
I mean, the bedroom scene again, and it takes some luck too, frankly, because you have no control over the weather outside the windows, but there's all these blinds in that bedroom scene, and we're tweaking that look just by tweaking the louvers and the blinds a little bit, and I think we filled in with one little light, but a lot of that was just what was there. So I was pleased with the way that came out, but then also then just down the hallway in this little empty room, and I had never lit something this way before, but I think adjusted the curtains or the blinds up or down a little bit in that room, but then laying a couple of Kino flows on the floor and letting that kind of uplight the people a little bit. And, you know, I think we got some decent drama in there in a tiny little room that didn't have a lot going for it, you know. So I was real pleased with how that came out too. And plus then that guy, the gun dealer guy, I mean, he steals the show, you know. He steals one scene, you know.
Yes, it's true. It's true. Yeah, you're right. Especially with the bedroom scene, you know, that location just happened to be facing wherever the sun was shining through. And yeah, and the gun dealer little room had nothing really in it, and we had to make do. We shot a few scenes in one apartment basically, so we had to just knock them all out in one day, and that's kind of the nature of how we scheduled it. But anyway.
Well, yeah, and that, I mean, that sort of brings up just a huge talent that you have, I guess, of sort of writing to what locations you have available, and just the adaptability of going, we can do that thing in this area and this thing over here, and we can knock all this stuff out, you know.
Yeah.
So I mean, this was, I suppose we had some kind of long days, but it wasn't like the horror stories you hear of a lot of indie films where people don't know what they want, can't make a decision, or, you know, just spin their wheels, and
right,
people are working 20-hour days and all that. We didn't really do that, you know.
Right. I think on this kind of project, if that happens, then it just falls apart. You know, you have to,
yeah,
you know, and you're just throwing money at problems and nothing's getting solved. But I
right.
think that we, you know, some people work better with limitations, and I think I'm one of those people. Like, I need to have some limitations, and I'll figure out how to do it. But let's hope I never get really big. So.